All right, folks, we're about to do it like it's done. Nobody do it like we do, baby. Nobody does it like we do. You're live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. In the dugout, I'm standby, my man Dusty. In the meantime, folks, this is how we do it. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve after dark to concerts in the park, you're live with the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. Your boy Lonzo, baby. My man Dusty in the dugout. I'm bringing him on deck, baby. Bringing him on deck. Dusty, ready to play?
Batter up, baby. Batter up.
All right, here we go. Chat room already on fire. I see my boy Martin, D Young. They're here, baby. Easy Steve, what's up with you folks? Chat room on
good to see everybody. Yeah, I love that. I love that, man. Thank you so much for joining the show. And please check out, before we even get started, please check out the show if you didn't last week, the tribute we did to Layla. I think it was just amazing. It was great. We're getting a lot of good feedback. So go back into the archives and check it out. I know a lot of you guys liked it, but share it with a friend, man.
Now, you know what's crazy? I'm sitting here thinking, man, Layla's funeral is like, I think it's February the 7th or something like that. And, you know, I've been to a few funerals, man. You see a lot of people you haven't seen in a long time. And it just kind of, I don't know, we do it, but I don't know if it's really cool or not. We take a lot of pictures at the funeral.
Yeah.
So it becomes a social event, you know? And, you know, you probably be there to show respect to the person that's passed on, but do you really want to turn it into a social event? And, you know, I've seen funerals in the past, man, turned into parties, dude. And I think that's kind of a hard, you know, that's kind of, you know, smoked out, drinked out.
Yeah, man.
Banging, whatever. I don't know, man. You know, I just, maybe a picture or two is not that bad, but, you know, because there's going to be people I haven't seen there in years and vice versa. And, you know, I guess social media and digital phones have changed everything. So people tend to be able to do things they normally couldn't do, you know, and taking pictures of folks, you know, at a service is one of them things, man. What can I say?
Yeah, man. Something I don't understand myself, but, you know, I brought that up because last week, while we were talking, someone said something and it just sparked a question to me. So I jotted it down so I could remember this week. But I would love to know your thoughts on this, Lonzo. I can't remember what the person said, but it just sprung this question for some reason. But back in the day, studio time was really expensive. Back in your day, equipment was really expensive. I mean, to cut a single could cost hundreds, if not $1,000 for, you know, per song or whatever. I've heard you and several others say. Not many people back then had that type of money other than drug dealers. Is it safe to say that a lot of the early hip hop and maybe music in general was funded at the beginning by drug dealers? And I'm saying that the Eazy-E story, you know, some people say that's true. I don't know if that's the case, but they say that he got Ruthless started on drug money. But what are your thoughts on that?
You know, kind of, I got to kind of roll with that, Doc. I collected a few cocaine roll dollars back in the day trying to, you know, run the studio. A lot of cats figured, you know, a lot of guys didn't want to be rappers. They would back up somebody who was a rapper trying to be on a record company. And some cats kind of stumbled into it like Easy, you know, and literally, I mean, and nobody, he didn't do no ciphers. He didn't do no contests. He kind of stumbled into it and it worked for him. Okay. He would have a sock full of money to come do what he got to do and didn't want to pay studio time half the time. So I wouldn't really argue with that. A lot of guys would, you know, with discretionary funds, tried their hands in the record industry. I would definitely say that's very, very accurate. And
going back before hip hop, you think?
Probably going back before hip hop, man. I mean, you know, you hear stories about a lot of your old blue singers and pimps trying to get out of the game. Didn't know a lot of serious drug dealers, but you know, I don't know everybody in the game backstory. So I would say it would not be far-fetched to say that a lot of record companies a few record companies may have been formed from illegal sources. Put it that way.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. What do you know, if anything, about the history of the mob's involvement with music way back in the day, even going back to, there's rumors of Frank Sinatra being involved and things like that. Did you hear stuff like that when you were coming up in the music industry?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, come on, man. Some of the people that if you look at Clarence Avon's documentary, okay, Black Godfather, I mean, he lays it out for you. I mean, and here's some crazy. Now, Clarence is older than I am, of course. He's much older than I am, but I still heard them stories as a young record executive coming up. It's like y'all listen to my stories right now about Dre and Cube and Easy. I'm listening to his stories back then too. Okay, I'm listening to stories from him and my boy Swamp Dogg and one of my managers, Mr. Sims. I ain't gonna call out no full names, but it was some hell of a stories, and we just didn't have social media to share them with y'all. We had to sit down at a dinner table, at a desk, or at an office, and they get to talking. And dude, just like I'm like some of y'all are when I start talking. I was the same way. That's why I can tell these stories, because I've heard stories like this before. And these folks talk about the transition from the speakeasy time over from prohibition, when because alcohol and entertainment's always gone together. Okay, alcohol and entertainment has been synonymous since day one. But at one point in time, as you all know, there was prohibition, and when prohibition was lifted, they're like, "What are we gonna do now? We got all these acts. We're gonna do something with them." So, and then you got the agencies and the different record companies. I mean, if you look at a record contract, it's the worst contract in the world. It is the worst contract in the world. It's a contract that says, I'm going to loan you money to make a project for me. I'm going to own it, but charge you everything for it to make it happen. How is that? How do you loan me the money to make you a project? I got to pay you back. I'm going to get a small percentage of the money, but it's your project. So all the cost that is incurred to make this product successful is mine. Nobody did that at Mattel. Nobody did that at General Motors. You're not going to design a car and then pay me to design a car and then tell me, to promote this Camaro, you got to, I'm gonna charge you back to the designer. That's bullshit. That will never fly anyplace else. The music industry is the only one that does that, because the music industry is based on individuals, and individuals, there are residuals that come from being a celebrity that are up until recently that were not tangible to record companies. What I mean by that is you promote a record and the person becomes a star, and up until recently they go off and make movies. Company don't get none of that money. They go off and get endorsements. Company don't get none of that money. You go off and do whatever the case may be. Company don't get none of that money. So you build me up to be a star, and I ain't had a hit record since my daddy would say since Hector was a pup. And all of a sudden, I'm still doing songs 20 years later. I'm still doing shows that the record company don't get no money for. So it was a situation that the record company figured, I'm going to keep all this money, you keep all that money. That was the attitude. You can keep all your performance money. I'm just going to keep this record money. But people got smart, and record companies got smart too. And that's when the 360 deal came into play.
360 deal, baby. Whew.
Came into play. I'm going to give you a shitload of money today, but I own your ass. You go buy you a Bentley and a big old house, and by the time that shit ready for foreclosure and out of style, you're going to be broke. Okay? And I still own your ass. So I give you a spike today. I give you a spike today for a shaft in the morning.
Are there any benefits to signing with the record label nowadays?
Man, it all depends on who you are and how old you are, what you do with your money. And it's always a benefit to getting a shitload of money. Okay? Somebody give you $5, $10, $15 million. That's a great deal. That's a great start. But if you're going to take it and give it to the jewelry man or the car dealer or go to the strip club and start passing out money like it's flyers to a party, you ain't did shit. But maybe pay somebody else's bills. And here's the bad part. In most cases, you give the money to some stripper. She going to do some shit with it to pay her kids, whatever the case may be, pay her kids tuition, whatever. She don't really benefit from it. So the money just goes back goes back to the system again. Okay. I was listening to a podcast just yesterday, and it was sisters from Magic City. They were on another podcast talking about how at one time during the 90s and early 2000s that ball players, it was a making it rain era, and people coming in and drop $25,000-$30,000 on strippers. Nigga, you out your goddamn mind. But but again, being stupid with your money has always been a byproduct of hip hop. How stupid can I spend my money? How stupid? How many ways can I go broke? Okay. I was read the other day, homeboy from BMF, $500,000 for a chain.
Man.
Nigga. $500,000 for a chain? Come on, man.
You think Bill Gates will spend $500,000 on a chain, Lonzo?
Bill Gates wouldn't spend $10 on a belt.
Thank you.
I was looking at Bill Gates. It was Bill Gates and Warren Buffett at a game, and they was talking about. It said so many $1 billion, not a Gucci belt or a goofy loaf nowhere between them. Okay, yep. You only buy that shit to make poor people think you rich, because rich people don't fuck with it. You only buy shit like that to make poor people think you rich.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me how much Gucci I got.
I don't think you have any.
None. I ain't got a Gucci shit. I got some knockoff shit I got from a buddy of mine. I can go make it with everybody else. He had hats and chains and brought my lady a purse. So much fell apart. I was embarrassed. She got mad. But going to the Gucci store, nigga, please.
Ain't happening.
It ain't gonna happen. Okay.
Nope. And just so you know, most of your favorite rappers out there, guys, everything they're wearing is fake. I was just at an event and I saw a couple of very famous rappers, and I could spot a fake Gucci belt a mile away, and it was just very sad the amount of fake Gucci belts I saw that night.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it makes no sense. And you know, even when you go to certain events and you see. I go to money events all the time, man. I go to money events. I be around millionaires all the time. And I just look and say, damn, this dude, all that money, he got a regular black belt, regular black shoes. He ain't got nothing floss, ain't no chain. You can tell he might have a bomb-ass watch, okay? But it's so plain, you can't tell it's bomb unless you know what it is.
Exactly. Only a certain few would know.
Only a certain people know it's bomb-ass watch, because it ain't gonna do a whole lot of standing out. It ain't gonna do but you not that's what them $20,000 so and so's that but most brothers ain't gonna buy that because ain't no bling in no bling and bland. So it is what it is, Doc.
Yeah, well, we got a lot to get to, man. But Isaiah Edwards, thank you for the donation. He wants to know, Lonzo, who's the greatest black music exec of all time?
Woo, man. There's some bad boys out there, man. I grew up in that era, and that's probably why my attitude is what it is. I know Larkin Arnold personally. Larkin Arnold was a lawyer that I think he cut Michael Jackson's deal. He got some money off of Michael Jackson. He did a lot of work with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Him and Clarence Avant was real tight. He did the Marvin Gaye deal, Tina Marie, Rick James. Everybody that was at Motown, he brought them over to Sony or CBS, including and Record Crew at McCullough. He brought us over there too. I remember one day I spoke to him. I said, man, who you managing today? He said, I ain't managing nothing but my money. I said, damn, that's a cold line. That's a cold line. I ain't managing nothing but my money, Lonzo. I said, hey, man, I can't get mad at you for that one. I knew Gerald Busby. Gerald Busby was a bad boy, okay? Gerald Busby with New Edition, Lil Silas. All these brothers have passed on. And they were just good dudes, man, that would kept their ear to the street. No matter what was going on, they kept their ear to the streets, okay? They were very approachable. I mean, Gerald Busby, I'd kick it with him. I knew where he lived at. I'd go by his pad from time to time, and I see him in the elevators. I see him in the Motown building. he would be at events, walking around, doing what he was doing, whatever he had to do. And he was always a cool dude, man. He was, he went to Fremont High School, and he was a few years older than me, but still he was older than me, and he was well respected. Um, who else? Who else? Man, those are probably my two main dudes that I worked with. I knew a bunch of them, but these guys were some of the guys, the names that was ringing around in my era. That when you thought about Janet Jackson, you thought about Larkin Arnold. When you thought about Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, you thought about Larkin Arnold. When you thought about New Edition and other groups, you thought about Gerald Busby. These cats were they were serious players. They were serious players in their era, and they had a lot of high powered lawyers. One of my favorite lawyers was Curtis Shaw. Not the guys don't know Curtis Shaw, but Curtis Shaw was the first guy that ever gave me any time when it came to the record industry. I never forget me and Unknown was working for Lee Bailey. Lee Bailey was a bad boy. He wasn't a record executive. He had a great program called Radio Scope, and he had an event in Vegas, and Curtis Shaw had me and Unknown outside of the Imperial Palace Hotel. Is gone now. It was a windstorm, and he was giving us a record industry lesson. And come on by my office, and I'll kick it with you. And sure enough, I went and looked him up. And see, that's something a lot of cats don't do. Don't follow up. I followed up with him, showed him what I was doing, and he took me around to a bunch of folks, and I met a lot of people messing with him, man. So it just them relationships, man. When you can call somebody up like that, and you ain't got nothing to offer but a bunch of questions, they still talk to you. That's why I do what I do the way I do it, because somebody did it for me.
Man, each one teach one. Yeah, I'm looking up Lee Bailey right now. I know you mentioned his name before, and I know I've heard about Radio Scope. What was Radio Scope? Because I'm looking at it right now, and I'm intrigued because I'm a radio nerd. So
Radio Scope was a radio newsletter, and every Sunday he would interview different artists, talk about music, and just do all kinds of stuff. It's now called the EUR Web, Electronic Music. No, EUR Web. That's what it is now. It's an online situation. But it was syndicated to radio stations. Unknown was
New Orleans. Looks like New Orleans. I'm seeing it.
Was everywhere. It was everywhere, man. He did a big thing for Martin Luther King. Lee Bailey had a deep voice, real deep voice, and he was a great spokesperson, former DJ, and when radio was going through his syndication part, syndication times, he would syndicate his show, man, and he would send out tapes everywhere. Then it became CDs, and it became, all kind of shit, man. It was a dope ass era, man. Dope era.
Dope. That's dope. Thank you, man. I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole tonight because I love researching old radio stuff. Let's keep it on the industry a little bit before we move on to some of the more recent stuff. Before we take a trip to the niggaverse, I got the spaceship back running. We got $8. I only got $8 for gas, so we're gonna put $8 of gas in the spaceship, and we're gonna take a trip to the niggaverse in a bit. But before we do that, I want to talk about something you haven't talked to. I'm going back and thank you, Isaiah Edwards.
See you, baby. Much love to you, Doc. Thank you.
Let's go to his question because I don't ever want to forget another chat again, super chat. He says, Lonzo, what happened to John McClain, major player we haven't heard from in a long time? He brought the chronic to Jimmy Iovine.
I think John McClain passed, man, if I'm mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I think John McClain passed. Don't know for sure, but I usually go to the record, the Legends of Radio picnic every year, and a lot of cats that the things get smaller every year because a lot of the people start, as my daddy would say, start checking out, and I do believe that. I'm not sure. I'm not positive, but I think John McClain passed. I haven't heard that name in quite some time, and the chronic was 20 years ago. Yeah,
try 30, man. Woo, crazy. Yeah, I'm looking up John McClain. It doesn't say anything about his death, but it does say in 2000 he joined DreamWorks Records, where he is now senior VP. In 2009, McClain and lawyer John Branca became the executors of Michael Jackson's estate, having been named in Jackson's 2002 will, the legitimacy of which is questioned. Okay, huh? So I mean, I think he's still alive. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yes, I wanted to ask you about something you haven't talked about in a long time, and we have new listeners. And I'm going back and checking out some of the older videos that we did about 3 or 4 years ago. And one story that I thought was very funny and interesting is the time you got a call in the middle of the night from an Italian mobster. Can you break that down? Take us to the core of why you think that happened and what happened at the end.
You know, at one time I was signed. Macola had got some new friends, and they were different kind of dudes. They were no nonsense cats, and one of them talked a lot. And it was right after I dropped "Turn Off the Lights," and they wanted to buy the record. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do an album. I didn't want to sell the record, but I was going to do an album with them. Did an album with them. They gave me $25,000. Gave me a contract that was like 90 pages long. It went through the alphabet like 3-4 times. I'm on double, triple Q and shit. Okay. I read this contract and it broke down. If I got a job at McDonald's, they got 20%. They got 20% of anything I did, living expenses, whatever the case may be. So I told my manager, I can't sign this, but I already got the check. They gave me the contract and check at the same time, told me to read over it, get back to them. So I'm like, I can't sign this. So my manager said they would look into it, and no problem. So a few days later, I get a call from Priority, Brian Turner, Priority Records. Hey, Lonzo, I want to license enough lights for a compilation album. And that back then, that was good money. Brian, when he called, it's $5,000. Every time he called you, it's $5,000. Okay, to do a compilation album, a deal with Brian, you get between $7,000 to $5,000, minimum $5,000. Okay, so I called my manager and said, hey, babe, I said, look, I got this opportunity to license this song. I haven't done the deal yet, but is it cool if I do this deal over here? And they said, yeah, go ahead and do the deal. So I go and do the deal under the instructions of my manager at the time. And my future record company gets wind of the deal. Motherfucker is mad. Oh, he mad. He mad. They talking shit. They mad. So I'm like, I asked your people what the fuck to do. They told me what to do. So I'm sitting at home. So I leave Macola. I go home, and about 6 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call. That's when you had to answer the phone, on the side of the bed and shit. I get a phone call. Yes, I speak to Alonzo Williams. This is him. How can I help you? My name is blah, blah, blah from New Jersey. And I understand you sold our product after we paid you for it. I say, no, that ain't quite what happened. Well, people like you, if you were here in New York, they'd find you in the East River. Oh, shit, time to wake up. Huh? Just like that. I mean, that was the conversation. But 5 minutes in the conversation, I'm supposed to be in the East River. Like, motherfucker. Excuse me, sir. Let me explain to you what happened. So I told him what happened. I said, look, man, I did this right here. Your man gave me this contract. I have not signed the contract. I got the check. My manager made me bust the check because they wanted their cut. Okay. And this is what's happened. I didn't sign the deal yet. Blah, blah, blah. Next thing I know, he apologized. I understand how my man operates. Maybe he was a little overzealous in his conversation. I'll handle it. Okay, cool. So from now on, fuck this. When I go to Macola, I'm strapping up. Motherfuckers, the bullets flying. They not good. They going both ways. Fuck the dumb shit. Okay, fuck the dumb shit. So I get down there, and my man, when he found out it was Brian Turner, he decides he going to get his goddamn money. So we get in his car. I'm scared because I was told not to get in the car with this dude. I was told by a very reliable source, don't ever you do, don't get in the car with this dude. Okay, and I'm like, hey, come on, let's go. I gotta pee. I'll be right back. So he fired the car. I said, quick, the car, warm the car. I'll be right back. He fired the car didn't blow up. So I get in the car, and as bad as this motherfucker was driving, the motherfucker should have blew up. Okay, I was safer if it blew up. Okay, I might have had a better chance. I'm scared to death. This motherfucker can't drive. What the fuck? Get to Brian's office, and this motherfucker goes off. He threatened to kill Brian. He threatened to kick. I'm sitting there. I'm terrified. I'm like a fucking kid. I ain't never seen this kind of level of gangster shit before. Brian sitting there drinking some motherfucking Jack Daniels. He can hardly get his motherfucking liquor in the glass. I want a fucking check right now. I don't have no goddamn controller. Fuck that. Woo, 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 woo. And Brian calls out and gets a fucking check. And shortly after that, we leave. Before we get in the elevator, this motherfucker's laughing. I knew how to get my money out of that motherfucker. What the fuck? No bullshit. That's no bullshit. No bullshit.
Damn.
I'm not saying no names. I'm not saying no names because folks are still, around, but that's a true fucking story. So this is why I tell people, all that gangster shit, motherfucker, this is why I couldn't do what motherfuckers was trying to do. And I'm experiencing this real shit. These motherfuckers they playing for keeps. Okay? I'm hearing their stories from people who, if I mention somebody's name, you fuck with him? Do you know this motherfucker did? That kind of shit, okay? We're not talking about little lope dog. We ain't talking about little knuckle nuts. We talking about ass cracking nuts. We talking about motherfucking grown ass men who have been known. Oh, that dude got 4 or 5 bodies, man. Shit, you fucking with him? Shit, you better watch yourself, boy. One of the dudes that I met one of their friends. Nice guy, man. And I talked to this guy on Friday night, and Monday he got arrested and did all kind of time for multiple bodies. Like, what the fuck? Man. I don't call no names. I ain't going there. But I'm just saying, man, this is why motherfuckers talk about that gangster shit, man. Look, nigga, I just seen some real gangster shit. That shit, if you ain't prepared to kill or die, don't play with that shit. If you ain't prepared to kill or die, leave that shit the fuck alone.
Gang, grown ass men enlightenment.
Wait. I got a new one for you, Dusty.
What is it?
I borrowed it from a buddy of mine. He says, I'm officially LOD, old. Outlive dumb shit.
Nice.
Outlive dumb shit.
I love that.
Okay? Remember that, folks. Get old and outlive dumb shit.
That's the new one. That's the new one right there. Well,
so, go ahead. Do you think? What we got?
Yeah. Let's go to the niggaverse, man. Before we do that, thank you, everybody, for hitting that subscribe button and that like button.
Drizzle, drone. Time for this one to come home.
Let's go to the niggaverse. Let's go to the niggaverse,
man. I stopped at 7-Eleven to get a little thing of oil because we were running low on oil for the spaceship. But we're good to go.
Okay.
It's running. Let's do it. So this past week, Lonzo, Young Thug's homie tried to slip him a Percocet in the middle of court.
I saw this.
Did you see that? Okay. Before I get your opinion on that, not only that, but Yak Gotti, who was a popular rapper as well, his mother got arrested for trying to sneak contraband, which included rolling papers and tobacco products, into the courtroom for her son. The niggaverse is in full swing, Alonzo.
Okay, baby. Your mama's in it, your friends is in it, and everybody going to fucking jail. I feel like this is one of my Charleston White moments right now. You stupid motherfuckers. All you motherfuckers gonna be locked up together, trying to keep a motherfucker high. Fucking jail is the ultimate rehab. Let that motherfucker sober up. He might come to his consciousness of what he's done to realize his goddamn crimes. But you keep this motherfucker sedated, and you wonder why he keep doing dumb shit. You're gonna risk your freedom to give a motherfucker. I watched this motherfucker walk around the side of the court and hand this motherfucker something, and the camera looking at it. You know how many cameras in courtrooms? Do you know how many it got more cameras in court than there is in Disneyland? Motherfucker, you ain't gonna get away with shit in that motherfucker. The nigga was busted before he even sat down.
Man.
The nigga was busted before he sat down. It was no kind of couth whatsoever. You don't shake a nigga's hand in court. You don't shake hands in court. Who does that?
And not only the cameras, but the guards, everybody literally are watching you. And you're like,
the niggaverse is in full effect. What kind of mama you got go trying to sneak some weed and tobacco products? See, this thing, I think it might be nigga crazy. Motherfucker ain't crazy. You got some crazy ass shit out here, man. How down your mama got to be? You know what about if you got any brothers and sisters? They fucked off now behind your mama want to bring you some dope. If you got any brothers and sisters, they fucked off because why would your mama bring you some dope, man? Why would your mama bring you some dope? Get that for the what about Oregon there? God damn it. Why would your mama bring you some motherfucking dope? That don't make no sense. Your mama gonna bring you some dope. What kind of mama you got? So somebody help me understand. Why would your mama risk her freedom and the welfare of her other children, if she got some, to bring your busted ass? You already in jail for making a family affair because your dumb ass decide you want to go to jail. Boy. I don't know what to tell you, Dusty. I'm sorry. Chat room, help me out, folks.
That's a hard one.
Martin, thank you for reminding me of my organ and doc. Sometimes I forget I got these effects over here. But I don't understand why in the fuck when was that ever a good idea? Have you ever seen a nigga pass nigga drugs and it was a good idea? You come to court to go to jail. You come to court to go to fucking jail. You have to go to a special school to learn how to be that goddamn stupid. You have to go to night school and learn how to be stupid. That's goddamn stupid. You have to take a class. You cannot be that naturally stupid. There has to be some exercises you take to learn how to be that goddamn stupid.
Yep. And Young Thug is saying that when his homie passed him the perk, he had no idea what it was. And the other guy got apprehended right away. And not only that, Lonzo, he got rushed to the hospital because he apparently, the guy who handed Young Thug the perk, he allegedly swallowed a bag of
tried to follow the evidence. You dumb son of a bitch. You just a dumb son of a bitch. What can I tell you, man? What can I tell you? How stupid can a motherfucker be? You know how many people die trying to swallow drugs? People think you put them in your ass and that bag busts, you won't get high. You finna overdose through your asshole.
Yeah.
You finna die through your asshole. Okay? You might as well swallow the motherfucker. The same. It's just the other way in. It's still a way in though. That's what they call. They got a thing called suppository. Do the same shit. Huh?
Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
No, suppositories have the same effect as a pill. You put a suppository up your ass, you're gonna have the same effect as the pill. That's why they put a thermometer in kids' asses, and sometimes, depending on how you feel, depending on what's wrong with you, they'll put a suppository up your ass so they get the shit in your body. If you smoke some shit in your ass and that plastic bag break, you're out of here.
Yep. And people recreationally, if you don't know what Lonzo and I are talking about, I know this sounds crazy as fuck, but people recreationally do drugs through their butt. It's called boofing or something like that. They actually literally will put certain drugs because apparently it goes right through your bloodstream. And you don't want to put anything in your butt because it will explode. But this is a trip, Lonzo. I want to tell everybody out there, if you have a cell phone in jail, if you have any drugs in jail, odds are it was smuggled through somebody's ass. And you probably got some fecal matter and all kind of nasty shit all over that.
Yeah. A lot of that, most of that shit is keistered. That shit is keistered, and keistered is not from the Keebler Elks, motherfucker. That's some nasty shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Well, shit. Let's move on. Hold on. I just undo that because I deleted. All right, cool. Never mind. So I would love to know your thoughts on this, Lonzo. The famous, and I say famous or infamous, Jordan Downs projects were demolished this past weekend, and it looks like they plan on building a new urban village. I put that in quotes, with more than 700 homes, 9 acres of park space, and a shopping center. What are your thoughts on the demolishing of the Jordan Downs projects, where Menace to Society was filmed in, for anyone out there who wants a reference?
Well, you know what? Every once in a while, gentrification or reconstruction has a place in society. I think that's one of them. I've been over there. I've seen some new developments, and they look a lot better. the Jordan Downs was called the project for a reason. Back in the day when they were built, they had different kind of projects they built. They built projects in Chicago. They were called Cabrini Green, and those projects were built up. Okay, these projects were built spread out. Okay, and there was a study to see how the different designs affected the mindsets of the people. Okay. Oh yeah, that's why they call them the projects. Okay, this is known. Google it.
Yeah, I didn't know that part of it. That's interesting. Okay.
Google it. So they did studies to see how the effects were back east. The cities a lot smaller, territories a lot tighter, so they built their projects, multi-story. You might have 15, 20 stories up, but no elevator. Okay. In LA, they built projects. We had more land. They spread them out, but you living in like a damn, in some cases, just shy of a boot camp or army base, because a lot of that shit, some of that shit was previously army bases, depending on where it is. Some of that shit was previously army bases, okay, and they eventually gave them up to the public. I don't know about the about Jordan Downs for sure, but I know some of the places in San Pedro. If they're still around, I know there were some projects in San Pedro off of Pacific Coast Highway that at one time they were army bases. And they tore them down and they rebuilt them. So yeah, folks. Rashad Cobb, much love to you, Doc. Much love.
Good looking out. He says, "What up, Lonzo and Dusty? Just wanted to say, everyone keep Marlon's mom in their prayers during her treatment. Also, Dusty, can you do a Spice One mix next? I don't know many songs. Lonzo, do you know Spice? Yeah, I do a mix every Saturday on my show, and I got you, Rashard. I got you on some Spice One. Go ahead, Lonzo. Did you know Spice One?
Not really. I knew of him, but I didn't really know him that well. Not to say I got no real interaction, anything like that.
Yeah, you got a Spice One show coming up this Saturday, man. I was gonna be putting my show together this Wednesday or Thursday, so I'm gonna make sure to do a special show for your donation on Spice One, most definitely. But yeah, back to the projects though, Lonzo. We're to the best of your knowledge, because you go back to the 50s. You were born in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
50s. Okay. Were the projects always that, like that? Was Jordan Downs always like that? Was Nickerson Gardens always like that? Or was it the gang element that really brought that in?
Now, you know what? When I was a kid, my mom had cousins that lived in Nickerson Gardens. We went there all the time. We went there all the time on the Sunday to visit my mom's cousin. And, it was a different vibe, but we never had any issues. And I think like most things in the city got compacted and elevated when the gang situation jumped off. When gangs became the primary group of various communities, everything got hot. It could be Fox Hills got hot for a minute. Shit. And the project was more condensed because you got a lot more people in a smaller area. And then you got groups. You got Jordan Downs. You got the Pueblos. You got Imperial Courts. All these different places, and people start segregating themselves and start, doing different shit to each other because they all competing for the same piece of cheese. Yep.
Okay. You know what? Let's. We talked about this in the past, but I love these stories. But can you talk to us about? Is it the Watts Fest? Watts Stacks Fest?
Watts Stack.
There's two. Aren't there two? There was a Watts Summer Festival, and then there was the Watts Stacks, right?
Watts Stacks was the first one I went to. I was 16 years old. Isaac Hayes was the headliner. Barcades, Joe Tex, Staple Singers, Dramatics. It was a big show, man. It was a big show. And it cost $1 to get in. Coliseum, Los Angeles Coliseum, $1 to get in. And it was on a Saturday afternoon because I know that next Sunday they play football the next day. And the big problem they had that day was keeping people off the field. Now, the way they set the field up, they set the stage up in the middle of the field. So everybody was on the side and nobody was close to the stage at all. Nobody was close to the stage. But the field might have been set up, maybe the stage might have been set up at the 50-yard line. Okay, and it was set up just like it would be at like a football team. So you got people facing the goalpost, but you got people all around, and there's nobody close the artist. It was really a funny ass vibe. It was really funny because you're supposed to sit in the stands and listen to them play and not dance. And here we are, probably one of our biggest eras of dance in South Central LA. Everybody is locking and jumping around and doing the JJ and all kind of shit. And you telling all these people they need to sit in the damn college, sit in their seats and watch the concert. Niggas don't sit in concerts right now. I can't stand going to concerts. Exactly. Everybody want to fucking dance in front of you. Anyway, don't get me started. And it was a dope ass concert, man. But as soon as the band would play, man, everybody running out to the stage and the music have to stop.
Thank you, Underworld ENT. Lonzo is the GOAT of West Coast hip hop history. Thank you so much, man.
I appreciate that, Doc. So the concert would always stop. And they had to get on the mic. Jesse Jackson, yes. Keep Hope Alive. Keep Hope Alive. Jesse Jackson. Get on the mic, y'all. Please stop. Get off the grass because our deal is we can't be on the grass because the Rams or whoever was the football team at that time. I forget what it was. Might have been the Raiders. I'm not sure. Play tomorrow, and that's part of our deal. If we don't, we got to pay a bunch of money to for field whatever. That's they had real grass. And I remember this. You won't see this no place else. You will not see this any place else. First of all, the biggest lie was told that there was no problems. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. I listened to Al Sharpton one day. I started to call this show, call him you a perm-headed lie, because I was there, okay? That shit was terrifying. That shit was terrifying, okay? Because every few minutes, somebody would run down to the field. I mean, hundreds of people, okay? And it got to be real frustrating to those who didn't go on the field. And they told them make a dance on the track. Then they told them make a dance on the track. And then Jesse Jackson, Keep Hope Alive, Jesse Jackson, told the Crips to form a human chain around the track of the Coliseum. And everybody was like, what the fuck did you just say? Yes, Crips. Hold hands, and they did it. They did it. They was holding hands. LAPD, I'm like, I need to get the fuck. I didn't drive though. I had my buddy drove. I couldn't get the fuck out of here. LAPD threw their hands up and when sit their asses up behind by the Olympic sign. They was like, fuck that. I'm not going down there. And they wasn't fucking with it for a minute. And the Crips held the line for a minute. As soon as the band started playing. People still, because understand this, the Crips had not been nationally introduced yet. They was hood, they were still popular. Jamel, took him, all of them was there, but they hadn't made their citywide reputation yet. And sure enough, you had old niggas, damn well this nigga no gangbanging, but niggas was trying to keep their leather jackets, so they was joining they got a temporary membership to the Crips to try and survive the day. And man, as soon as people came down there, folks started beating people's ass. As soon as it was holding hands, as soon as people would come to the track, they started bombing on people. And then they realized that ain't gonna work either. Okay? Because back then, security guards would beat your ass, and these niggas were beating ass. So Jesse gave that idea that he had the police come back in, and they came back and reinforced it. But it just, the vibe of the day was so it was a good potential. I'm going to back up a little bit. It wasn't horrible. It's just that you had pockets of brothers running around taking niggas' jackets. And I never forget, I'm going to tell you, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. I'm in the bathroom. Niggas came in there looking for leather jackets. A dude was standing next to me, was pissing. He never put his dick back in. He took his jacket off and gave it to him. I ain't bullshit. He in the bathroom. We got the dick out. He pissing. Oh shit! Here come these motherfuckers. It's gone, man. Take the jacket. And it was just that kind of shit, man. They walk up 20, 30 people, and you give them your jacket. I didn't wear leather jackets back then. I hadn't experienced it at that time. But then I never forget. Probably the saddest thing I saw. It got to the point with a couple of stampedes, and people were stampeding like a motherfucker. It was like running around and shit. And they cut a tree or something, man. It was real sharp. And this lady, that's why there, somehow or another, she caught her eye on the tip of the tree as she was falling down and tore all this shit out right here. It was just a horrible scene, man. It just, it just was not it wasn't. They covered up a lot of shit. And I understand why, but people like me, I've been recording and observing shit in Los Angeles entertainment all my life, man. And I watched the documentary because Richard Pryor was in the documentary, and homeboy from the Love Boat, Ted Lang from the Love Boat, was in the documentary, and they was talking about how smooth it was, wasn't no problems. So you know, motherfuckers is lying. Okay, I was there. I remember jogging around that motherfucker, looking over my shoulder. Oh, here they come again. So yeah, man, you know, I ain't mad.
Damn, watch stacks, man. Shout out to the audience, man. Please hit that like button if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button if you like what you are listening to.
They wanted to bring it back to next year for $2.
I was gonna say, keep going.
They wanted to bring it back next year for $2. I said, I passed like a motherfucker. I ain't fucking with that. No, it's all right. And dude, that kind of turned me off from concerts. I mean, I'll go to concerts, but I'm very selective for what concerts I go to, man. Because I remember as a youngster, we had a radio station called KACE and one called Cute 102. KACE was very tight with Motown, and in fact, one of the guys 103.9. One of the guys, his name was Alonzo Miller. He had, I think he had little writers credits and publishing on Super Freak. That's how tight he was with Motown. He worked with Rick James and some other stuff. And they would give concerts in the park, at Jesse Owens Park. I mean, big concerts with people like Frankie Beverly and Mays. When they first came out, you could see him at the goddamn park. You see Chita Marie at the goddamn park. Rick James be at the park, okay? And this was like 77, 78. And because I remember I saw one of my girls from high school, from college. I went to college in 77. I saw a girl I had a crush on at the concert. I thought she had a baby. It was actually her little brother. And so yeah, I was out of college. I went to El Camino. I was out of El Camino about 77, 78. Didn't have the Eve yet. I don't think I did. No, I got the Eve in 79. And it just made for a good vibe because you go to the park, man, and just chill. Just fucking chill, and you heard Super Freak for the first time, okay? Or maybe one of them Rick James albums from the very first time, because that was part of their promotion. Would go out to the park and shit, man. And then shortly after that, man, people started running and getting beat up and shit, and the liability factor became too great because no matter where you are, this is something I did a clubhouse the other day with a young brother. He was talking about doing a nightclub and how his limits of responsibility. But if a radio station does an event, somebody get hurt, they're gonna sue the radio station. Radio station, you did it. It's your shit, and you know it could be the county's fault for not having security or whatever, but they're gonna sue the radio station. So a lot of liability. People just don't want the liability. You know. And back then, you probably didn't do it on insurance. You probably just did it, put them out there to the park and did your shit. Like I used to do. I would go out there with my sound system and just play. I ain't never had no insurance policy. But, you know, at some point in time, the streets just got too wild. And the Snoop say these streets is crazy.
Man. What do you know, and I'm asking this because they sampled on an N.W.A. song. But what do you know about the 103rd Street band?
Oh, I think I'm saying that right. Yeah, that's Charles Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Wright, a buddy of mine. Charles Wright got rich off that shit, okay? Me and Charles was laughing about that shit. He's come to my Club Hall of Fame. I know I sound like a goddamn either old motherfucker or lying motherfucker.
I love that, yo. I asked you if I give you a name and you fucking know the guy.
I know the motherfucker. I got the nigga. Hold on, let me see something. I might have the nigga phone number.
Show, man.
Hold on, let me see.
I've always wanted to know about this group, and here we are.
Do I have that nigga number still? Nah, I ain't got it. Hold on. No, I don't have his number. He used to come to my club on Hollywood Park Casino all the time. And he do shows up there. You know, he do a show. He just sing out impromptu. I was doing a birthday thing with Kevin Nash. He was in the house. He coming in, you know, do his thing. This little off-key style of singing. And he and I became buddies because for a while we were both getting a lot of accolades from different organizations, we'd always be on the same stage getting trophies and plaques or whatever the case may be. And I used to keep his number, but he was a player. Cool brother, real cool brother.
Okay. Kevin Nash. Tell us about Kevin Nash.
That's my dog.
Radio legend.
Radio legend. Me and Kevin Nash. This is crazy, man, because Kevin Nash reminded me of this shit right here. When I met Kevin Nash, he was 15 years old on the radio in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Okay? Wrecking Crew was hot as fish grease. We're touring we're on tour down south, and we're playing with Cool Mo D, Zap, and somebody else. And we had the hotter record with Turn Off the Lights. Not Turn Off the Lights, but Lovers was our big record at the time. And I remember my boss telling me, my manager, hey, we got to go talk to this young kid, this DJ phenomenon. This kid got the deepest voice in radio, blah, blah, blah. Like, this dude's 15 years old, talking grown ass man. He sounds just like you sound right now at 15, okay? And I met him, we hung out for a minute, blah, blah, blah. And I think he emceed the show. And when and I was, time passed, and then I go to KGLH, and I was doing something, and he was like, "You don't remember me?" No, he's Lake Charles. Keep talking, man. I interviewed you guys on the show. No, what the fuck? I'm Kevin Nash. And then all the shit came back like motherfucker. So we both Geminis. So we hit it off. And when I was at Club Hall of Fame, Kevin was a very, very Bible-based brother, and he would do these shows, and he would do some kind of religious readings or whatever on his radio show at night. And he developed a big female following for doing this, okay? And I would do the Kevin Nash birthday bash at Club Hall of Fame, the Hollywood Park Casino, and I'd give away tickets on Kevin's show. And it would be 20, 30 women at the club looking for Kevin carrying Bibles. Okay. I'm not bullshitting. Okay. And there would be 20, 30 women waiting for Kevin carrying Bibles. And it got to the point when he first started doing it, he would try to talk to all of them. He's a good dude. He tried to, communicate, sign an autograph or take a picture, but it would take him sometimes 2 hours to leave the club because everybody wants to read a scripture to him, take a picture. And it was nerve-wracking to him. So then he realized one day that there was we had a fire escape, and he would slide down the fire escape. And after he do the birthday thing, I'd pay him and whatever. And I got to go. And where you going, Kevin? He goes to the back behind stage. I didn't know there was a fire escape because he told me about it. My cousin Vanetta, she told him about how to get out of there without being harassed. And sometimes I'd go up to the front of the room, front of the club, to get a money drop or whatever. There he is right there. No, but I'm not Kevin Nash. We both was bald-headed, okay? But he's lighter than I am. So I got accused. And one lady argued with me. I'm not Kevin. Yes, you are. I'm not Kevin Nash. Oh, it was crazy. Good brother. Talk to him all the time, and it's all good.
I love that. I love these old radio stories, man. You know what? Can you go through the process? You talked about, paying Kevin Nash, but can you go through the process of how you paid an artist back in the day when you were promoting? I know you had Run DMC come through. I mean, you've had a lot of big name artists, even the smaller ones. Like what was the process from start to finish on how you paid? Did you have a contract? Like what was talk to us about that.
Me and Kevin never had a contract. We had a handshake deal. Okay. I've always had a good reputation when it came to people. But I'm an artist. Okay. I'm not going to screw another artist. Okay. If I got to go to the ATM, you're going to get your money, man. And that was one of the things that it kind of got the word got out of me a long time ago. If you work with Lonzo, you're going to get paid. Okay. And me and Kevin cut the deal on the phone. It wasn't a bunch of email and stuff like that. I went to KGLA, said, man, I want you to come by the club on Friday nights. He said, I hook it up with the sales department. I'd buy the advertising. He'd come through. He'd do his part. And in the night, we do the handshake. He got his money. He's going. With no envelopes and just do a handshake, keep on going. Working with Run DMC, I had to go through Russell Simmons. I had to track down Profile Records, and their label hooked me up with Russell. And me and Russell talked on the phone, and he told me, actually it was Curtis Blow. And I did a deal with Curtis Blow, and Russell also managed Curtis at the time. And it was half deal, 50%. Here go your money. Yeah, back then you had the Western Union money. And then when they got here, you get getting arrested in cash before they hit the stage. That's the deal. That's what I was accustomed to as a DJ. I got half my money up front and the rest at 12 o'clock. Or sometimes if I didn't know you, when I turned my system on and it was working, I got to get paid. And I ain't got time not to get paid or chasing you around the dance floor at 2:30 looking for my money, because that was notorious. People were notorious for that shit. Once you've done your job, they too busy. Everything else is more important than paying your ass. When you show up, you ain't there on time, they outside waiting for your ass, looking at their watch. But as soon as the dance over with, especially if they ain't make no money, they get real busy. I got to go take care of this guy. Give me my motherfucking money, okay?
Chris says, oh boy, Lonzo mad at Run for throwing his mics on the ground. Run, drop the mics.
Be off to the highest level of festivity, and the motherfucker still drops mics to this day. In fact, I just heard, I read yesterday that they doing their last show this year. They retiring. They retiring the mic drop. Yep.
Damn.
They retiring the
classic group.
Yeah.
Classic group, man. Shout out to the audience out there. Please hit that like button. And like I said earlier, if you are not part of the channel and you like what you are hearing, you are listening to Alonzo Williams, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. Do your Google search and go down that rabbit hole. His story is amazing. His tentacles touch every aspect of West Coast hip hop. He surprises me every single week with someone else that he knows. No bullshit. This is all true stories. N.W.A. stories with Lonzo. Tell us about your show with Dre on Fridays, Lonzo.
Me and Dre, boy, we've been going at it last couple of days. He's a very, very big-hearted love person. I'm like, bullshit, Dre, that's some bullshit right there. So we've been bumping heads, but it's a good bump. It's a good head bump. We end up laughing about this shit, man. It's we got Miss Bernadette. She chimes in with us, and it's a cool show, man. I enjoy doing it with him because he got an East Coast perspective, but he got a different perspective overall. You know, like I said, he's love. We got to show some love. Maybe show somebody, put some foot in somebody's ass, you get a lot more, get their attention a lot faster. God damn it! Sometimes a good kick in the ass will get support attention work faster than a whole lot of love. So I'm so old to come to that shit right there. Kicking the ass and gets what? Yeah, I figured you heard me the first time.
Facts, man. Facts, dude. And before we leave, we gotta send a prayer out to Marlon's mother.
Mom.
Yeah, man. I know the what it's like to have a sick parent. So I'm gonna definitely sending you some extra love and good vibes on my end. I know Lonzo's gonna do the same, man. We love you, dude.
Yeah, much love to you, Doc. Much love to everybody in the chat room. My mama died. I dealt with that, and I was 19, man.
Ooh,
my mom died right after high school, and I was her designated transportation to and from her chemo treatment, and we actually got real close on them rides back and forth, And I think the one thing that we didn't do as a family was tell my younger brother that she wasn't going to be all right. My younger brother didn't know she was dying. And nobody told him. And one day she died. He fucked him up. Okay? Whole nother story, man. He wanted to keep your head up, Doc. That shit is.
Yeah, and if there's anything we could do, Marlon, even if it's me personally, even if it's monetarily, because you've just been a great supporter of the show. If you do a GoFundMe or anything, just you can definitely count on our support, man. Love you, dude.
Yes, sir.
I just lost my pops less than a year ago, so I'm feeling a little sentimental on that. But Lonzo, I love these shows, man. I love every Tuesday dropping those gems, dude, giving us some grown-ass men enlightenment. And what was the old one again?
Old outlive dumb shit.
I'm gonna start using that, dog. Outlive dumb shit.
Yes, I'm old. I outlive dumb shit. God damn it. So you think about that for a minute, man. If you can get through the dumb shit years, you can get through any damn thing. Okay? I'm gonna say 15 to shit damn near 30 now is dumb shit. 15 to 30, you got about 15 years of dumb shit years. You might get some sense if you're lucky. If you got somebody kicking you in the ass and keeping you on track. And that was my thing. I always had somebody kicking me in the ass. I was a crazy motherfucker too. But I had two old dogs kicking me in my ass every chance they got. They kept my club and just my life. Nigga, I'll kill you. I'll kick your Jeffy. Hey man, so when somebody got something on you, I read something my buddy of mine said the other day. A good father does not have to beat his son. The pride. If you love your kid, love your son enough, and show him the right way.
Thank
If
you.
he steps out of line, the thought of disappointing you will fuck him up more than an ass
Then
whooping.
you whooping his ass.
Okay.
I haven't had to. I whooped my son's ass one time when he was like 5, and it was that's it. Like it's a mental thing, man.
My dad got me twice in my life. My baby boy, I think I got him maybe 2 or 3 times, but he got the message quick. Okay,
Quick.
Even now,
that's all it took.
even now, when I talk to when he does something I don't like, I explain it to him, and he'll get it the next time. I said, "Bruh, why I gotta do that every week, man? You a grown ass man. You should be doing this." Oh, I'm sorry, Pop. And he gets it. And my youngest, my oldest son, I got him a little late. He had to get some retro ass whoopings, but eventually it became the same situation. Okay.
Yeah.
Mothers overspank out of frustration. Okay. Mothers get frustrated and they don't kick.
Daddy probably ain't effing around. Daddy's probably not around. That's another big deal.
Right. A lot of mothers. I read a thing the other day that said that a large percentage of men in prison come from single family homes. But those who come from single family homes there's less men in jail raised by dads and single dads than there are single mamas. Single mamas, a lot of cats go to jail. Single dads, dads know better. Okay,
it ain't happening, man.
We've been
so important.
We know how that light feel on the back of your neck. We know what handcuffs feel like. We don't want you to go through that, man. We don't want you to go through that, dude. I didn't have enough handcuffs on for a whole lot of cats. Okay, I didn't stop through the jail. That shit is not cool. I'm going fuck with nobody. Oh no, we gotta go, Dusty. We gotta go. I'm having flash.
My man, every Tuesday, I love you, man. It's always a pleasure, dude.
Love you too. Love all y'all in the chat room, folks. This is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. We are out of here like last year. Peace.